Hi everyone, Simon here from Sterling Coaching, and welcome to this week's Monday's Moment video, in which I'm going to talk about the nightmare that I had last week with my internet access or lack of it. But most importantly, the lessons that I learned from it and the way that people stepped up to help me resolve it. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this week's Monday's Moment Live. See you in a moment. Now, last week I had an upgrade of my IT equipment. Now I take my security, my cyber security and the protection of my customers and all of your details. If you're on one of my lists, I take the protection of that and the security of that really seriously. And for that reason, I have a client of mine who I'm also a client of, the Armour Group, who deal with all of my internet access and my cyber security. And I've had amazing service from them and had a contract with them for some equipment for a firewall and a router. And on Monday last week, they came out to change this equipment because it had come to the end of its contract, and they brought me some new equipment which actually they've built up and made themselves. And it didn't go quite according to plan once they left. So Stuart came and set the equipment up, which was great. He left me to it, and then he sorry, my wife's just walking across the garden just to show that this is actually live. And he came, and 10 minutes after he'd gone, the whole thing came crashing down. He very promptly sent a member of his team later that evening to come and have another look at it, and again we thought it was fixed, and down it went. To cut this video short, because it would literally be about an hour long, we had this roller coaster ride of not really understanding what the problems were with the internet access, and it wasn't predictable. It was one of those sort of electrical problems that you get with your car where you can't quite pinpoint what was wrong with it. But the most important thing was that by the end of the week I got some equipment back and I was up and running. And I want to mention this in the Monday's Moment this week because I learned some valuable lessons. And one of those lessons is to surround yourself with people that have a can-do attitude. You know, the Armour Group, despite the fact that everything seemed to be working okay and it looked like it could be a problem at my end, they stuck at it. They did everything possible to get this up and running and fixed. And okay, it didn't always work out, but I knew and had the confidence that they were committed to getting this sorted. And you look at your suppliers, look at the people that you surround yourself. How many of them are like the team at the Armour Group, where they go above and beyond to make sure that they step up and have a can-do attitude of solving the problems that they have with you and that you have with them. Okay, just have a look at those supply chains. Also, think about yourself. Think about how you treat your customers. Do you keep them happy? It would have been very easy to lose me as a customer, upset me. I would have lost my patience, and I certainly felt like it a couple of times when things weren't going to plan. But because I did, I received that great service and that commitment to getting it done, I didn't lose my patience, and I was impressed by what they did. So for us as a supplier to our customers, how well do we do to keep them happy? How above and beyond do we go when things don't go according to plan? And it's not always when things are going well, it's how do we excel when things aren't working out? So have a think about that this week as I sit out here in the garden streaming this. This is because of the commitment that Stuart and Joel at the Armour Group gave to me last week and got me to the point where I now can stream this uninterrupted and without worry. How great is that? And how do you surround yourself with people like that? But also, what kind of supplier to your customers, what kind of service do you give them, as the East Coast train line goes behind me? How much service do you give to the people that you work for to do the same when things aren't quite as they seem or don't quite work out? I'd love to hear some of your experiences with some of your suppliers. I'd love to hear how you have stepped up to help your customers. And I'd also love to have you on a podcast with me to share these stories. That would be a great thing to do, and to share, like I'm doing now, your stories and your great service with everybody else out there. I hope this is just giving you a few things to think about this Monday, and I look forward to having you on next week's Monday's Moment Live. Bye for now.